Shit guy hooking us and shit into the D. I got weird people out, so I couldn't talk. But enjoy the episode.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Inside the D. I'm not going to be doing much talking during this episode because I just got my wisdom teeth pulled out, as you saw in the intro. So today I have 10 questions for the boys, open-ended questions, and I'm just going to ask them while I sit back and listen to their opinion. So there's no interjection from Aidan today at all. So I'm going to start off with the first question. With 4 points from the top and third place in Ligue 1, can PSG still win the league? If not, will it be Lyon, Lille, or a different team?
Listen, Lille is playing amazing right now, right? They had a little mess up in the Europa League, but they're playing amazing right now. They're on fire. You know, they were able to beat one of the best teams in Italy in Serie A. Lyon, we've also seen they're a pretty good team. Last season, they had a great season. This season, they've definitely got the talent to be great, but it's PSG. Like, Ligue 1 is PSG's league. I know they've had a couple tough losses. You got to look at who they're missing. 2 of their star players. Basically, their attacking force is out. Besides Mbappe, so you can't count them out because of a couple games. It's only 4 points. I mean, that's the difference between first and second in the Serie A. 2 games and boom, PSG's back on top. I don't think you can count them out just yet.
Yeah, couldn't have put it better. Lyon and Lille are definitely really good signs, and they're obviously really shown in the league, being at the top of the table. But I just think they're no match for a healthy PSG, especially when they get all their players back. They're just gonna go in and start destroying everyone. They're gonna have to play a little catch up, which it is what it is. But they're not gonna be able to drop very many points, and I mean they're just gonna have to catch up a little bit. But I really think that just the rest of France is no match for PSG right now.
So PSG fans shall not worry for their team right now.
No, definitely not.
Okay. Now, one more thing before we go on to the second question. There is no particular order for these questions that I'm asking, so we're going to kind of bounce from thing to thing. I was high on pain medication a little bit when I made these questions because it was like 5 minutes after my surgery. I was like, I'll just come up with some questions for the podcast. So forgive me, I haven't read these back yet. So do you think Liverpool can bounce back? And if so, how?
Well, what's the timeline for bouncing back?
Yeah, I have the same question.
Well, can they finish in a top 4
like
spot?
This season.
This season.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I could see them slip into like 4th, but I don't think
not with how they
higher.
played. Not with how they played against Everton.
No,
They got
definitely
Richarlison.
Yeah, but listen, Hendo did get injured that game. He's obviously he's amazing in the midfield. He's also, I mean, he's one of their only defenders now. So now they're really like literally don't have anybody to play. I mean, their CDM was playing center back and now he's out too. I don't think that you can judge them off of that Everton game, like whether or not we've seen that they've got the power to keep winning, as we saw in Champions League. I think they're going to have a little bit of a rough patch right now, and then they're going to finish out the season strong and go on a nice win streak.
I think they'll get a solid 6th. Kind of only for the fact that they're pulling midfielders into defense, which I think is hurting their attack right now. They're kind of stopping. They're putting their ball winners, which is Fabinho and Henderson, into defense. And so they're playing more defense than they normally would, which is kind of just rendering their press like kind of useless because their defense is now like really easy to break down and teams are figuring out how they defend. They're figuring out, let's go straight at Trent because he's not a great one-on-one defender. Let's get Trent into one-on-one scenarios. Let's have our left wingers go against them. And for a lot of teams, it's really working. And the other thing is, let's exploit Thiago because he's not a good one-on-one defender. Let's exploit Wijnaldum because he's not a good one-on-one defender. Start playing his center backs at center back and his midfielders at midfielder. I think it's killing them in the defense that they're having trouble building out. They're having trouble putting pressure on teams because Henderson's not a center back and Fabinho's not a center back. And I'll give them a lot of credit that they're doing a very good job at center back, but they're needed in the midfield right now, and their forwards are frankly out of form, and they need to trust Kabak. They need to trust, I think their other center back's name is Williams or Phillips. Is it Phillips?
Phillips.
Yeah, they need to trust Phillips. And I think that they just need to go back to what they were doing last year that worked so well for them.
I partially agree and partially disagree. I think Hendo needs to get back into the midfield because he's the core of the team. Amazing captain, amazing midfielder. I don't think he's the best for that center back role. I think Fabinho though is a great center back. I think he should stick there. And I think they should have Kabak with him. I think that should be the center back duo until they get the team healthy again. Because listen, Fabinho's an amazing midfielder, but he's also shown that he can play center back and he's good at it. And obviously you stick with Trent and Robbo on the wings. I could also see them move into kind of a 5-back situation because we've seen that their defense, with the 4-back is not great. So maybe they slip in a third center back and then have Trent and Robbo play more as pushing forward, getting forward, and more as right mid, left mid, rather than right back and left back.
One thing that I kind of saw get mentioned is moving Trent into midfield, because as I already mentioned, he's not a great one-on-one defender, and teams are exploiting him when he's on the wing. And not having a really strong defensive center mid to kind of shift over and help him out so he doesn't get into 1v1s. I think shifting him into the middle and then bringing, I'm going to butcher this name, Smikas, I think he's a Greek left back. Putting him on the right, or Milner, putting Milner as the right back could strengthen their offense because, Trent he's very good on offense, as we saw last year with just the amount of assists that this man gets. I think that they need him going forward, but because they're getting exploited so much defensively on counterattacks and all that, he's kind of playing a bit more of a reserved role this year. And I think putting him into the midfield, first off, helps a little bit defensively because he is better than Thiago defensively. And it also helps them on the attack because he did play midfield as a youth player. So he already has a lot of experience there. And the only reason he's a wing back or fullback is because that's just what Liverpool needed at the time when he first broke into the team. And I think I'd like to see him at least tried at midfield. And if it's unsuccessful, it's unsuccessful. But I think Klopp needs to get a little creative with moving players around.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't know if Trent in the middle is the best idea because I think yes, he played there as a youth player, but it's been a while. He's adapted to playing on the right side. I think at most you put him as a right winger because the reason he's so successful is he gets the crosses in to the middle. He's great at using the space he has outside and then getting the ball to the attackers into the middle. I don't want him in the middle of my field. I think if you want to get creative and try something, I'm just throwing this out there, you could put Trent at right wing, and then you can put maybe try Salah at striker since we've seen that Firmino.
Go to a 4-2-4 like how PSG does.
Something like that because we've seen Firmino just he's not playing well this year at all.
Got it.
Firmino should not be finishing. It should be Salah and Mane who are their finishers, which worked for them last year. It worked amazing for them last year as we saw Salah's. I think we can toss this term at him now. I think he's a world-class player. And we saw him really finishing. I don't know what the percentage is, but he's got to have some ridiculous of a percentage of Liverpool's goals, and he needs to get back into his finishing ways. And Firmino just needs to do what he did last year, which was create and kind of create space and lanes for Salah and Mane to kind of run behind him in between the center back and fullback.
So shifting over, but also staying on a little bit of the topic of Liverpool, it's sort of more of an open-ended question. Bringing us to the Champions League, our predictions didn't go so well, I think it's fair to say. My question is, will we see any magic Champions League comebacks out of this first set of first legs?
Hopefully.
Well, which ones do you think?
I think, well, it's not going to be magic, but I think Juve is going to come back. Ronaldo's going to do his thing. And I don't know about anything else. But for sure, I think Ronaldo's going to go in and do his thing.
I think Juventus definitely played better that game. I think Porto just got lucky chances and took advantage of it. I mean,
100%.
Obviously that first goal, I mean, that was so unlucky, but it was also just horrible play by Juve. I really can't see them making a mistake like that twice in a row. I think Juve is going to control this game and, hopefully, or not hopefully, but probably going to win it.
It looks good for you guys.
Yeah, it's Ronaldo. I mean, Ronaldo's not losing to Porto.
So
yeah, for sure.
I think it's fair to say that Porto's first leg win was an upset, right?
Well, for sure, an upset.
It was definitely an upset, I would think.
Yeah.
With the 4 remaining first leg games to go on Tuesday and Wednesday, what upsets do you think we'll see?
I don't know about upsets, but I for sure think that Chelsea Atletico is going to be a great game. I don't think we're going to particularly see an upset. They're 2 pretty well-matched teams. But for sure, this is going to be a really good game.
I want Aidan to clip this and put it on Instagram after it happens. Chelsea's going to get absolutely demolished by Atletico Madrid.
Score.
I'd say 4-0, maybe 3-0, 4-0, 3-0. I think it's going to be aggregate. It's going to be like 5-1. I'm going to put that out there right now.
Okay, so Chelsea's going to get 1. That's nice.
Yeah, I think they'll get a tap in.
I think
Atletico is going to absolutely demolish you guys.
I'd like to put a score prediction in for the game as well. I think it's going to be a 2-1 Atletico. Not aggregate, just this game this week. I think we'll get a 2-1. I think like Timo will just like squeeze one out. And
I would
of all people.
I don't know. I've got a feeling.
Of all people, you went with Timo?
Yeah.
I would like to say that I'm not going to put a score prediction out there for Chelsea Atletico, but I have a very good amount of hope, and I'm not feeling sad about this upcoming match. I think it's going to be a good fight nonetheless. Obviously, we didn't get the result that we wanted against Southampton, despite dominating possession again. We haven't lost yet. We've let up 1 goal from the opposition. The other goal that we let up was an own goal. I'm not really worried. Obviously, it's a different beast, but it's not going to be a demolition from Atletico. I'm just saying that right now.
Wait and see.
We will wait and see.
Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. That's the best feeling in the world. Not even Chelsea's going to win. Oh, I proved Ico wrong.
That'd be great. That's why I'm glad you said that, because it only works in my favor, really. I mean, if Chelsea wins, and I can just
well, if Ico's right, then he's never gonna let that go.
I'm not gonna say he's not gonna be right, because then that gets clipped and then that gets posted, so I'm not gonna say that. Ow, I can't smile because it hurts, by the way. Sorry if I'm talking quietly. Erling Haaland, 8 goals in the Champions League this season. Yep. Is he gonna finish top scorer?
Oof. I think that's difficult to say because he could get knocked out, or Dortmund could get knocked out earlier than, say a PSG where Mbappe could take that, or Barcelona, Bayern, exactly. I mean, it all depends how far they make it. I think if they can make it to the semis, I would say that if they get knocked out semis, I say he could still finish top scorer. But if they don't make it all the way there, then I don't think he's going to be the top scorer, because I mean, he's going to play 4 less games or 3 less games than the rest of the people.
Yep. Full agreement here with Ico. And the other thing is if he stays healthy, because Champions League does span over quite some time. And obviously dealing with injuries would keep him out of that. And the other thing was, for sure, Dortmund would have to stay in the competition. And I think if it's not Haaland, then it's going to be Lewandowski. Just because, man, he's so good. But if Dortmund make it I think semis is a good shout. And especially if he stays in the form that he's in right now. He's basically scoring a goal every game. I think he is scoring a goal every game. What's he, 24-24?
I think he's got 24-24, but I think in the Champions League this season,
Like
if I'm not mistaken, I
6 for
believe he's
8
got
or...
8 and 7.
Yeah, he's a different beast right now, right? So if he keeps doing what he's doing, then obviously he's gonna finish kind of top, at least 2, competing with Lewandowski.
And something I've loved to see, recently the past week, is that Haaland and Sancho have gotten back into playing really well together. Obviously, Dortmund went through this rough patch, and they're 100% not out of it. But we're seeing the old Dortmund, the powerful Dortmund, the young duo back. They're back to having fun, and you're seeing it on the field. It's translating to the field. They're playing amazing together. I could see Dortmund, come back with a lot of force and push deep into the Champions League. I mean, this is a strong Dortmund team. Again, had a rough patch. All teams go through a rough patch. I think they're going to bounce back very strong.
Yeah, they had their rough patch, and then they sort of cleared that rough patch in the first leg against Sevilla. It's a pretty narrow win, but I mean, they've got the result they wanted, and the 2 stars of that Champions League week was Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe. A lot of people are comparing them to the Messi and Ronaldo. I would never say that they are on Messi Ronaldo level. However, in terms of rivalry and possible Ballon d'Or face-offs, can they be the next Messi and Ronaldo?
I want to say something very quickly about this, because I just saw a stat and an article about this. Was that Mbappe at the age of 23, he has no Ballon d'Ors, nothing, and Messi had, I don't remember if it was 2 or 3.
He had 2 by the time he was 22, I believe.
Exactly, but you got to look at the time, and we've talked about this in the past. It used to be way easier to win a Ballon, not easier, but there was a lot more diversity, winning the Ballon d'Or. Now when it's Mbappe's time and Haaland's time to be winning the Ballon d'Ors, we still have the Ronaldo, the Messi, the Lewandowski in the league. They're phasing out, so it's Mbappe and Haaland's time soon. But these couple of years, they could be the winners, but it's just getting taken because we have Messi and Neymar still in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the other thing, I know what you're saying, but yeah. With the other thing that kind of when you're drawing comparisons of Mbappe, Haaland to Messi, Ronaldo, is you don't have that league, where they're just going at it in league. So you don't get to see them play against each other all that often. And really the only time you get to see them play is Champions League, which is, a rarity if they're going to play against each other. And I think we'll see Haaland leave at some point. And it'd be really cool to see them in the same league. Lewandowski, Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, Neymar, Haaland. You're getting a just absolute stack of really good players. And Messi and Ronaldo were really kind of only competing with each other to get that Ballon d'Or. And you also have to remember that Messi was the star of his team. He was the best for a very long time and still is for Barca. Mbappe has to compete with Neymar for the best, or kind of the face of PSG. And I don't know if you could really compare Haaland and Sancho, but you could compare them to be the best in their club. So I think that it's just fully different, but it's for sure a really cool kind of debate and comparison to draw.
Luke mentioned something about how we used to be able to see Messi and Ronaldo play versus each other. Recently, obviously, these are just rumors, and in my opinion, I don't think it's ever going to happen. But we're seeing the Mbappe to Liverpool, and now we're seeing Hudson-Odoi and some money being sent to Dortmund for Erling Haaland. So we could get this kind of, obviously, Liverpool-Chelsea is not even close to the rivalry of Barcelona versus Real Madrid. But again, we could see these 2 young superstars playing versus each other in the Prem.
Aidan, how do you feel about that?
Well, I do want to quickly add there is a chance, and when I say chance, I mean small chance that Holland could make his way to Chelsea and Manchester City or Manchester City or Manchester City. But I do want to just say, because I don't know if I was the first one to tell Ico of that deal, but I was later proved wrong by my most reliable Chelsea news source that is not happening with Hudson-Odoi, at least. Not saying he's not going to come to Chelsea, but the Hudson-Odoi thing is not true. So my fault for telling you that, Ico. I thought it was true, but it actually wasn't.
I think we saw the same thing
it,
on Instagram.
I saw it on Instagram.
I think we've both followed that same
well,
account.
For the record, it's not true. As
it
far
would for
as
sure
I'm
be cool.
concerned.
It would for sure be cool, but I would really like to see both of them in the same league. I think that's a matchup that, like, personally, I would just love to see, because they're two really great young talents and finishers, just kind of going at it, which is fun.
I think if we're going to see, again, we've mentioned this, but I feel the need to say it again because we're talking about Holland moving. I think if we're going to see him move, he's definitely going to go to Man City because they're offering a lot of money, and they're also offering him $400K a week at such a young age. I mean, you're taking that deal immediately. I mean, that kind of money will last you forever. Even if you start playing poorly, they want to give him 5 years with that kind of money. So, if I'm a player, I'm definitely taking that no matter what the team is.
Yeah, for sure. That's a really good point. And the only, I'm not going to say it's a problem, but the only problem or kind of consequence that I see of that is that kind of cuts off all deals with Manchester City and Messi if that were to happen, because you can't really have two players that are getting paid that much per week in the same club. I just think it's unrealistic.
I disagree, because I saw today or yesterday reports Pep Guardiola has the full backing and support of the Manchester City board and ownership to go out and get Messi and also to push for Holland. So he's got the backing of the board and the club.
They're gonna be too good.
If there's a team that can do it, it's Manchester City. They've got all the money in the world.
For PSG.
Yeah, so Manchester City would be one of those exceptions where they could possibly afford to pay Messi and Holland, but also pay the wages of the other players, KDB, Sterling, all the other expensive players in their squad. Manchester City is literally a bank. They print money. So I don't think them paying Holland and Messi is really going to be a problem. But again, I don't know too much about the financial situation in Manchester, except for the fact that they have loads of cash.
A big thing, though, about Messi moving to Manchester City came out. Aguero, not too sure if he's going to be returning to City. And one of the main reasons Messi wanted to go to City was to play with his best friend, Aguero. So we could see Aguero. I mean, who knows if Barcelona goes after Aguero to try and keep Messi there. We could see that happen. I think, the biggest thing about Messi moving from Barcelona is a big factor is where Aguero is going to end up. I mean, obviously, if he ends up on not an amazing team, they won't be able to afford Messi. But if he ends up at a top club, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Messi follow him.
Good point for sure. But I think that basically going anywhere but Manchester City for Aguero is just a step down in his career. We saw him in his form last year, as he's really proven himself as one of the best strikers right now, and he's a true finisher. And I think that it would just make sense for him to sign on. And I do want to talk about Aguero for a second, because we have seen these rumors circulate for a long time of where's he going to go? Where's he going to go next? And I think that Barca or Atletico Madrid are very possible places for him to end up landing. And I'm curious where you guys think he's going to go. And we'll say that considering that he's not staying at Manchester City, which is a really good chance that he does.
I think Aguero, in terms of, you say any move away from the club would be a step down. Yes, it could be. However, it could be, and I'm not really, I hate to compare this
Yeah.
because Manchester United was not at the same level as Manchester City. But I think of Lukaku, who leaves Manchester United because he's not doing so well and goes to Inter Milan, goes to a different league, and then starts beasting out. I mean, what if Aguero goes to the Serie A or he goes back to La Liga?
The only problem you have with that is that Aguero's injured. He's not playing poorly.
That's true.
Right.
You bring up Lukaku, completely off topic, but I want to point something out about the success he's had in Serie A, and I think we can attribute it to one thing, and I think it's the partnership he has at striker with Lautaro Martinez, because when he was at United, he didn't have a quick striker next to him. The striker next to him was Ibrahimovic, who's amazing, but he's slow. Lukaku needs a fast striker to be next to him to keep the defense on their feet. And that's why I think he's been so good at Inter, is because they have the two, I mean, I hate to say this, but incredible strikers. I mean, I would say both of them are best in the league as of right now. And I think they've just formed such a great duo, and I think that's one of the main reasons why Lukaku's been able to perform so well.
So you say that it was completely off topic, but it's funny you say that, because here's my next question. Now, it's going to change. My initial question was, what are your unbiased predictions for tomorrow morning's Inter versus Milan game? Obviously already happened. Inter with a 3-0 win, Martinez and Lukaku combining well. So I'm going to change up the question, and I've asked this to Ico a few times before in previous losses. How much does this affect AC Milan? Don't just say, oh, it's just one game, it's a big team, it's a little gap. How much is this going to take a toll on your players and your management?
I want to say one thing, and I was going to text this to the group chat that we have with all our friends, but I decided to save it for the podcast. And it truly pains me to say this, because he's been a staple part of our team and an amazing leader for the past couple of years. But the captain's armband needs to be taken from Alessio Romagnoli and be given to Donnarumma. Romagnoli is not performing at the level that he should be performing if he wants to be our captain. He is not showing leadership. He's not showing the skill that he once had. I mean, he hasn't improved since his second year at AC Milan. We had a verbal deal with Atletico Madrid last year to sell him for about 55 million and then go and buy Dayot Upamecano. And I think not doing that was the worst mistake we've ever made. They didn't want to do it because he was our captain and it would mess up the locker room. But I think it would have been amazing, because as we saw in today's performance and a lot this season, he has been poor. I mean, he's not been great. He definitely does not deserve the captain's armband. I don't even think he should be starting anymore. I think it should be Kier and Tomori, no question. Tomori, I'm so mad at our coaching today in the game. Okay, Tomori, in our last game versus Inter, it wasn't as big. It was in the Coppa Italia, but Tomori started and he kept Lukaku in his back pocket. I mean, Lukaku could do absolutely nothing. The fact that he doesn't start Tomori again, and also we see Romagnoli plays great when Tomori's next to him. He needs a fast center back. Kier cannot be playing next to Romagnoli, so you either need to go Kier and Tomori or Romagnoli and Tomori. The fact that he didn't start today was so sad. The fact that Leao didn't start, who the last time we played Inter at the start of the season, I mean, how is he not starting? He played an incredible game. I was so disappointed by that. And I have to say, I love him. He's amazing. Donnarumma, poor game. Çalhanoğlu, poor game. Our whole team, poor game. I think we need to give Tonali more time. We can't just be throwing him into the lineup, because he's a great player, but he needs time. I was just very disappointed in the coaching today, but I was very disappointed in Romagnoli as well. And I don't think he should be our captain anymore. And really quickly, a report by one of our legendary directors came out today where he said that AC Milan, no matter how much the price tag is, need to pay for Tomori, because he's proven that he's amazing. For some reason, Pioli will not play him. I don't know why. But in the couple of games that he's played, he's been absolutely amazing. If we don't pay that price tag, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. I think we also need to stop going for the young players. I love it, and we've brought in great players. But we're at a level now where we should be able to go out and buy by bigger players, obviously not like the Messis or the Ronaldos, but the middle tier players who are going to help us win. I mean, we're pushing for a championship for the first time in over a decade. And the January transfer window, we go out and buy players who we don't need them at all. I mean, they're fine as backups, but we should be going out and buying players who are going to help us be able to make it to the end of the season and finish on top. Don't get me wrong, I'm not writing us off. I think we could definitely still finish top of the league, but I think we need to pick it up. And I'm very disappointed in the ownership in not giving us the funds to be able to go buy the players that we need to finish out the season strong.
Yeah, I fully agree with you, and I'm gonna touch on 2 points that I think you made that were really strong. Kind of the first was you briefly mentioned Tonali and how he's just kind of been thrown into the squad, and I fully agree. It looks like it. He looks like he's just kind of clueless the whole game, and it's sad because I really like Tonali, and it's good to see because, man, we know that he's good, and he's young, and we know what he's capable of, but he has truly just been thrown in. I think the thing for him is going to be he just needs a bit of rotation. Come on for 30 minutes. Come on for 20 minutes. He just needs some experience. He needs to keep training. I think that's really important to a young player like him, and especially when he has players like Zlatan who he could go look up to who are going to help him. And then the other point that you started with, you didn't touch on it. It was kind of half of what you talked about was the captaincy and how you don't want Romagnoli to be your captain anymore and you want it to be Donnarumma. But I think that the most important person in your locker room right now is neither of them, and it's actually Zlatan. And I think that Zlatan coming in made a huge difference to your whole team. And I think that he's helping the young players like Rafael Leao. And I think he's helping a lot of players. And I think, especially when you probably look at someone like Fikayo Tomori, he's probably helping him because he's challenging him in practice. He's pushing him. And I think that having a player like Zlatan helps a lot, not just on the field, because we all know he's a great player. We know that he's a goal scorer. But I think it helps push the young players. And I think that his ego is also helping push the players.
Yeah, really quickly, I do want to touch on the Tonali getting thrown in. As much as I hate it, it is a necessity because Benacer's been injured. He had his first game back and got re-injured. So, it's only a couple more weeks. But that's really why Tonali's been thrown in. And also, I love Zlatan. I don't think he should be our captain. He is our, our captain who's not really our captain. He takes care of the attack and Donnarumma takes care of the midfield and the defense. And I think in the new contract with Donnarumma, there's possibly an agreement of if you resign, we'll give you your captaincy. And I think we'd be stupid to not give Donnarumma the money that he deserves because he's won us so many games. He's saved us so many points. I do think that Çalhanoğlu, although he's been performing a bit poorly the past couple of weeks, we should also definitely continue the process to re-sign him. Honestly, this poor performance, I'm not too mad about it because it's really lowering down the salary that he's asking for. I mean, he went from asking for like 6 million to like 4.5 now per year, which I don't know why we're not. I mean, we're like, no, we won't give you more than 4, but just pay the extra 500,000 a year. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm not counting us out at all. I think we definitely still have a lot to prove. Everyone's been doubting us from the start of the season, saying that, it's just a fluke. We don't belong there. But I think we'll be able to prove that we definitely belong there, and I think we could 100% win the Scudetto.
So we've touched on almost every league in Europe. I'll try and get through these last 3 questions relatively quickly so I can take an Advil and go to bed. So we're going to Germany. Bayern, 2 points at the top. Will they make it 9 German championships in a row, or is there time for a team like Leipzig to catch up?
Man, I love Leipzig. I really do. But no, absolutely not. I think Bayern is just too good. And Lewandowski's too good. I don't think they're going to let it happen. I think that's all I have to say on that. They're the best.
Yeah, and I mean, nobody's going to dethrone Bayern. No teams. If there was one team that could, it was Dortmund, and we saw them just drop off. But even them, I don't think they could have. With the Upamecano situation, we kind of saw this. The reason that they're not going to get dethroned is because if somebody is playing well in that league and helping their team win, Bayern, snap of the fingers and boom, they're a Bayern. I mean, Upamecano is a core player for Leipzig in helping them get to that second place position. And what does Bayern do? Oh, you know what? Let me just go buy your best player. Why not? I mean, with that kind of mentality, you're not getting dethroned.
Aidan
Don't do that
just
to me,
laughed.
bro.
I saw Aidan laugh and he immediately went.
That hurt. I can't open my mouth that much. That's a really good point.
No, yeah, for sure. And we saw it with a player like Sane, which is obviously a different league. But for sure, it was the same idea of, oh, we'll just get him. Okay.
We have the money, why not?
They're like, yeah, we'll get him. Whatever. He doesn't even start. They're like, we'll get him. And it's just like, because they're winning so much. Like Ico put it very well. They're winning so much. All this money's coming into the club. They're just like dishing it out now. Like they're just like, yeah, let's just go get another player. Like whatever. And it's nothing to them.
I want to put a cheeky little prediction out there. I think within the next 5 years, the replacement for Muller in the Bayern Munich team is going to be Dominik Szoboszlai from Leipzig.
You're just saying that because FIFA.
No. I'm not saying that because FIFA. I'm saying that because he was, first of all, should have been an AC Milan player. Don't get me started on that.
Or ours.
But I think he's going to start performing amazing, and Bayern's going to be like, oh, we need a replacement for Muller. Let's go get Szoboszlai, who's the best cam in the Bundesliga, which I think he will be within the next 5 years.
We will check back in 2026 on episode 2000 of Inside the D. It's a fair prediction because, like you guys said, if a player is performing well in the Bundesliga or just in any league, Bayern's going to take it. So we'll see. Speaking of a player who is much better than Lewandowski, who you briefly mentioned, I know you're probably thinking, who's better than Lewandowski? Obviously, it's the Englishman, Jesse Lingard. My question with that is European football, Europa League or Champions League possible for these on-fire Irons in West London next season?
With the way they're playing right now, man, they're good. If the only way that, well, not the only way, but a way that I can see them not finishing top 6 is if Liverpool finish 6th, is really the only way that they're not going to. And if Arsenal doesn't make a push for top 6, but I would love to see them in Europa League, especially because I love the JL. Even as a non-Manchester United supporter, I love Jesse Lingard because he just comes off as kind of a funny guy. Lingardinho, he's better than Ronaldo.
I think they definitely need to try and buy Lingardinho. I mean, who knows how much United is going to ask for him after, if he keeps up these kind of performances. I do want to say something, and you guys might hate me for this because it affects both of you. London is brown.
West Ham isn't even brown. It's dark red.
Well, yeah.
Okay, sorry. All right, maroon. London is maroon. I think listen, I'm saying this right now. West Ham's finishing in 4th.
London can be anything but white, and I'm happy.
West Ham 4th. United 3rd. Leicester 2nd. City 1st. Chelsea and Liverpool will be battling for the 5th and 6th spot.
I'll take Europa.
We'll take 8th. Yeah. We'll take 8th, and I'll be happy about it.
I do want to say, I don't want to jinx anything at all, but I'm going to be quite happy if the day comes in a couple of months when AC Milan is in Champions League and Chelsea is in Europa League, because all the time, Aidan, this whole season, have fun playing on Thursdays. It's Europa League. I just want to see next season you guys maybe not even playing in Champions League or Europa League, and us being hopefully in the Champions League. I just can't wait.
I'm too high for this. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'll just be happy if Arsenal finish top of the top half of the table. we saw in the game today against Manchester City. Sorry, yesterday. Yesterday against Manchester City, there was, I believe it was the second minute, a minute 45 in. Raheem Sterling scored against us. That was kind of it.
So, pardon my ignorance, but how do you let a 5'7" Raheem Sterling score a header?
Okay, he got the backside of Holding, and the ball just kind of got chipped. It was a really good cross from Mahrez. Actually, a really good play. Kind of destroyed Tierney a little bit. But, you know how Mahrez does that one fake shot where he, like, throws his body everywhere and fake shots it?
Sure.
He threw one of those and just kind of cut it. And right, like, Holding, it was, like, that inches off, and Raz just like totally lucky went top corner. But
it is a bit impressive seeing Sterling finish in front of goal.
We're not used to that. I mean, I would have liked to seen that with Titanic music over it, just missing like we've seen more than a few times, but we didn't.
Aubameyang is officially a poor man's Lacazette.
So what's Lacazette?
Poor man's.
He's just
poor man's Zlatan.
He's the poor man.
Yeah,
poor man. I was just saying that that kind of the 1-0 against the team that I think is gonna finish top of the league, or I think most people think is gonna finish top of the league and maybe win the Champions League is. I mean, I'm not happy about losing. No one's ever happy about losing. But 1-0 is okay, and it realistically could have been 0-0 if Raheem Sterling doesn't score that, and it's frankly a lucky header. So I'm not going to complain about losing 1-0 to City. I mean, I'm going to complain otherwise, but I don't know. There's positives out of it. There's positives.
Yeah, it's a respectable result, and you say it's 0-0 if Raheem doesn't score that goal. I mean, you could say that with anything, you know. Right?
Yeah, it's 3-0 AC Milan if Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez didn't play.
Good point. I have no idea where I got this last question from. I don't even remember writing it down. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I'm going to say it.
You should have seen him on the call the other day. Oh, my Lord. He thought someone was going to – his doorbell kept going off.
It was. I wasn't going to. It was. Anyway. This isn't going to happen.
So funny.
This isn't going to happen until October, so I don't know why I'm bringing it up now. But the Nations League, Italy versus Spain, Belgium versus France.
What?
Who's going to win the thing? Who's going to win the Nations League? Guys, I'm dead. I'm so dead. Just answer the question.
Okay, wait. Real quick. I do want to bring something up that I think is really interesting. We could talk about nations.
I think wait, stop. Aids, I say you cut that question. Just cut it.
No way. We're keeping it in.
Just cut it. Just cut it.
Aidan,
go ahead.
I'm so high. I am.
Who's winning the Nations League out of those teams?
France. Oh, wait. Hold on.
France? Is France in it, right?
Yeah, France, Belgium, Spain, Italy.
Yeah, France.
Okay. Let me bring a quickie into this. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Belgium is ranked as the best nation.
No,
right now. I think they are.
In like the rankings, no. I'm
thought
pretty
they were
sure they are in France.
Well, let's check it out. Shall we?
No.
I thought they're two.
Look it up here. Wait, I'll finish my
Belgium
thought.
1, France 2.
Sure they're top. Yeah. So Belgium's ranked number 1 right now. I don't really know how. Maybe it's because of Lukaku's good form and De Bruyne's ridiculous, but France is so much better than them. France is, especially with how good Mbappe is being, just kind of generally, France is so good. I don't think anyone can stop them. I think they're unstoppable.
Never count out a Belgium team with Michy Batshuayi playing at striker, right? So don't count them out. But yeah, 100%. France is the best team, and they're going to be the best team in the world for a long time because their team is young, very young. Unless we see a drop off in form from 50% of their players, which I doubt we'd see.
Not even. They have so many strikers. They've got Griezmann, Mbappe, Ben Yedder. like Giroud. The list just goes on and on and on. Dembele. I don't know. You could say what you want about Italy. I think that this will be. I think we're going to get a really competitive for the next kind of few big major kind of tournaments. We're going to get some really good competition out of it.
I agree with whatever you guys just said. I'm not going to remember this in about 10 minutes, but I'm sorry for asking that random question about the Nations League. It's going to be a helpful question in about a year.
Yeah.
When the Nations League is coming up. We're going to go to a true or false. I've got 3 questions for you guys. This is an actual true or false. Last time I thought we were doing true or false, but we weren't. This is an actual true or false question. 3 questions. So then we can finish off. Again, next podcast, I will be fine. Viewers, I'll be fine. Maybe.
Let's hope.
Maybe. First question. U.S. women's national team star Rose Lavelle is the only Wisconsin player to be drafted first overall in any sport in the school's history. Is that true or false? Ever. First overall pick in any sport. From Wisconsin, of course.
We create draft steals.
Wait, from Wisconsin, the
not
school,
high picks,
or Wisconsin, the state?
UW.
Okay.
Let's hear it.
3, 2. Oh, I said false.
Oh.
I just kind of went with the mentality that I'll take it that Madison's got a football player, a basketball player, a hockey player in there somewhere.
Yeah, so they've got some really good second overall picks in their past, but they've never actually gotten a first overall pick. Rose Lavelle was drafted first overall in 2017 in the NWSL by the Boston Breakers. She still remains the only first overall pick in Wisconsin Madison history. 1 point to Ico. Second question.
Wait.
Did I say that wrong? What did I say?
1 point to Ico. You just said I see Eek. And you like spazzed. Okay.
Second question. Oh, I'm getting through it. Yeah. The highest Champions League final attendance ever was Chelsea versus Bayern Munich in 2012.
What a game.
Facts. My favorite game ever.
Drogba!
Yeah, exactly. We almost got him on the podcast, by the way. The announcer who did what you just did.
I was like, you almost got Drogba? How did I not know this? Okay,
Clive Tildesley, but unfortunately, he is too busy. We got a response, but unfortunately, he was too busy to come on the podcast. Maybe in the future. Anyway, let's see the answers, boys. True and false. So, yes, it was the first time in, I forget how long, I think it was since 1981, where the Champions League final took place in the home of one of the teams that was playing, which is Munich. So you'd assume that it would fill up. No, it's actually not.
What?
It was Real Madrid.
Versus Barcelona.
Nope, versus Eintracht Frankfurt in the 5th ever UCL final. That was their 5th in a row.
That's so bold. Like how?
Well, let me explain. Real Madrid won the first 5 Champions Leagues, and that was their 5th. Eagles won already, but I have to ask this question because it's fine. It's compulsory. So, in 1888-89, Aston Villa became the first ever English football champions. So it wasn't Premier League. It wasn't even called the First Division. It was just English football champions. Aston Villa are the first ever in England. Ico shaking his head. I'm assuming he means false. Luke, what do you got for us?
Smiley
True.
face.
Aston Villa in the 1888-1889 season finished second.
I hate that.
The Preston North End. The first ever champions of English football. So
Ico said Sunderland with his chest.
Yeah, so Ico is wrong, but he got it right. That's the second time in a row.
3-0.
But that's the second time in a row. It's question 2 and question 3 where Ico thought the right answer was something else, but he still
No. I didn't think it was something else. I just thought that was the one.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry, that was like my best guess. That was
your best guess. Listen, Ico does a full sweep on Luke. I'm going to sleep. I'm not going to edit this for another 4 months. So you may see this, you may not. If you do, let's take a look at our merch, boys. Luke finally got his hoodie.
Here, I'll do a spin.
Yes,
look at
please.
the back.
Look at the back. Beautiful. Thank you for joining us this episode of Inside the D. I'm really tired, and we will see you in the next one when I am fully healthy. Thanks for joining us.